Waheshimiwa, na tuombe. Ewe Mwenyezi Mungu, tuwakusihi ututazame kwa neema nyingi na baraka sisi watumishi wako ambao umeridhika kutuita kwa nyadhifa za uongozi katika jamhuri hii yetu. Kwa kuomba utujalie tuyatende na kufikiria mambo yote yatakayofikishwa mbele yetu kwa njia ya haki na uaminifu, ili kustawisha amani, ufanisi na heri ya nchi hii yetu na wale ambao haja zao umezikabidhi mikononi mwetu. Amin. Good afternoon, honorable members, and welcome to our Tuesday 17 afternoon session. And clerk, order of business.
Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Honorable members, I have a number of communications to make. Number one is that there will be a gala dinner for heroes and heroines on 19th October 2023 at Kericho Golf Club, starting from 7 p.m. This is in line with the celebration of us of Mashujaa Day. That is on 20th October 2023. So there is an invitation by the governor, Kericho County. I am informed that the invitation letters has been dispatched to honorable members, but it is just to let you know that you are supposed to be at the Kericho Golf Club starting at 7 p.m. gala dinner for heroes and heroines for this county. So please note that the majority whip, so that you can whip your members accordingly. Secondly, honorable members, is that we have received a number of reports from the office of the governor. These are the quarter financial and non-financial reports for the financial year 2023. For the financial year 2023-2024, these are quarter financial and non-financial reports for the financial year 2023-2024. And the leader of majority, you should note that I want to believe I have a lot here. For the avoidance of doubt, I have a letter from the CC Finance, Honorable Kipkoech Leonard Ngatich, forwarding the same. The only only thing that I want to confirm from the clerks is that I have other financial reports here. One. All right. Honorable members, as I was just letting you know that we have received some quarterly financial and non-financial reports, and as a practice, we will always commit to this house. But after consultation, we will commit the same tomorrow morning. The only thing that I wanted to say is that the Honorable Majority, perhaps your intervention has led to the submission of these reports by the executive. The only thing that we are going to do is, and I direct as follows, that clerk, you ensure and confirm that those are the financial reports and non-financial reports that we anticipated to receive as a county assembly, so that you can now execute your mandate of oversight, because the reports are now before us. So we move on, clerk, next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next.
Order number 5, papers.
Next.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
There is one motion by Chairman of Public Accounts and Investment Committee. Please give notice of your motion.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I wish to give a notice of motion that this House adopts the report of Public Accounts Committee and Investment on Auditor's General Report of the County Executive of Kericho for the year ended 30 June 2021. Thank you.
Next.
Order number 7, statements.
Honorable members, we have a report on statement raised by one Honorable Cheriot Bates and Honorable Philip Mutai, and this report was before the Joint Committee on Land, Housing, Fiscal Planning, and Settlement and Trade and Industrialization. And the chairman for Lands, Housing and Fiscal Planning, and I know the chairman, Trade and Industrialization also is with us. And I give an opportunity to the chairman, Lands, Housing, Fiscal Planning, to continue and table the joint committee report. Continue, the Honorable Ezra. I hope everything is okay. The Honorable Chairman for Lands.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir, for the opportunity you have granted me, Mr. Speaker, so that I can respond on the joint report on the statement which was sought by Honorable Cheriot Bates, representing the great people of Ainamoi, and Honorable Philip Mutai, representing the great people of Kipchimchim, mainly on the status of on the status of modern market. Mr. Speaker, the Joint Committee on Land, Housing and Physical Planning, Settlement and Trade and Industrialization. Mr. Speaker, the reason why we did Joint Committee, Mr. Speaker, is because the statement which was sought on trade and industrialization by one Honorable Philip Mutai was touching on modern market, Mr. Speaker. At the same, the statement again was sought by Honorable Cheriot Bett was on the same. So when we were doing a report, we saw it fit because it was almost the same. So we agreed to do a joint report through your guidance. So, Mr. Speaker, you will allow me to start on page 5, statement raised by Honorable Philip Mutai and Honorable Cheriot Bett. On 14 September 2023, Honorable Philip Mutai raised a statement on the floor of the House as annexed annexion number 1. The statement entailed the following. 1. The status of market stall funded by World Bank in Kericho Town. 2. The criteria the department will use to allocate the said market stall. And 3. The procedure for acquiring market stall for use by the public. Also, on 20th, Honorable Speaker, on 20th September 2023, Honorable Cheriot Bett raised a statement on the floor of the House regarding the Kericho Modern Market project. You will see it as annexure number 2. And the statement entailed the following. 1. The total amount budgeted for the said project. Number 2. The total contributed by World Bank and amount contributed by the county government. Number 3. The time when the tender was awarded and who got the tender. Number 4, the time the project will be completed and handed over to the county. Number 5, the status of the project, including a detailed breakdown of what has been done and what was yet to be done. And number 6, the number of stalls constructed, criteria to be used in allocation of the stalls, and the cost of giving out stalls, Mr. Speaker. The statement raised by Honorable Tupedwan committed to the Committee on Lands, Housing and Physical Planning and Settlement, Trade and Industrialization. The statement raised by Honorable Cheriot Bett was committed to the Committee Land Housing, Physical Planning and Settlement on 20 September 2023. For the further inquiry report of the House within a period of 14 days, and the statement raised by Honorable Philip Mutai was committed to Committee on Trade, Industrialization on 14 September 2023 for further inquiry and reporting to the House. The County Executive Member in charge of Trade, Industrialization, Innovation, Tourism, Wildlife and Land, Lands, Housing, Physical Planning and Settlement responded. The statement raised filed letter reference case KEC/MP/ volume 5/077 dated 25th 2023, KCE LHBB/CA volume 11/25 dated 25th 2023 respectively. All those are annexure 3 and 4. Responses from the County Executive, Mr. Speaker. The County Assembly forwarded the letter to the Executive for response. That is, the annexures are on 3 and 4. It was noted by the Chairman Lands, Physical Planning and Settlement and Trade and Industrialization that the matters raised in both statement were similar and thus resolved to jointly handle the matter. Background to the Kenya Urban Support Program. The Kenya Urban Support Program, KUSUP, is a World Bank funded program supporting 59 municipalities within 45 counties in Kenya. The main objective of the program was to support the establishment and strengthening of urban institutions and systems to deliver improved infrastructure and service in participating counties. The program is divided into 2 components, being the UDG, which is Urban Development Grant, and the Urban institutional grant URG and is structured in performance as a result. Mr. Speaker, UDG, the KUSUP is divided into two, UDG and URG. UDG, Mr. Speaker, and honorable members, is on this money, the UDG was meant for purposely development. And you have to note that, honorable members. And URG was mainly purpose was for capacity building for the participant. Kericho Municipal is among the 59 benefiting municipalities and received a total of approximate Kenya shilling 578,598,000 towards the urban development grant. The following 59 municipalities within 45 counties benefited from the Kenya Urban Support Program, Mr. Speaker. We actually did an extensive research so that at least members will be aware of the beneficiaries. One, Machakos, Mafoko, Kangumo, which is Tala, Embu, Kabarnet, Bomet, Bungoma, Kimilili, Busia, Iten, Kariza, Omapei, Kakamega, Mumias, Kericho, Karuri, Kiambu, Kikuyu, Limuru, Ruiru, Thika, Kilifi, Malindi, Kerugoya, which is Kutus, Kwale, Rumuruti, Lamu, Wote, Mandera, Marsabit, Meru, Awendo, Migori, Rongo, Muranga, Naivasha, Nyamira, Elkalao, Nyeri, Maralal, Siaya, Matete, Ola, Katwana, Kitale, Lodwar, Eldoret, and Vihiga. Isiolo, Kajiado, Ngong, Kisii, Kisumu, Kitui, Nakuru, Kapsabet, Narok, Wajir, Kapenguria. Those are the 59 municipalities, honorable Speaker, which benefited from the UDG and URG money, which is KUSUP 1, Mr. Speaker. The proposed construction of the modern market and installation of IMAS flashlights. The total amount of budgeted for the project was 204,970,538.49. The breakdown was as follows, Mr. Speaker. That was the total cost for the project. And the breakdown was as follows as per the bill of quantities. Bill number 1 was 4,580,000. That was for preliminaries. Preliminaries, Mr. Speaker, was including the ODing. ODing is securing the site, movement of the traders, that is preliminaries, and preparation of the site, and demolition of existing structures. That was falling under preliminaries, and it was causing a total of 4.5, and it includes some administrative costs, Mr. Speaker. Main market, you will know, Mr. Speaker, the market was divided into 3. Main market 1, 2, and 3, which was carrying almost equal the same amount of 26 million, 17, 8, 12, and 50. The same for the other. A pollution block was 6.5. Type A kiosk was 11.6. Type B kiosk, Mr. Speaker, was 17. The reason why type A is 11 million and type B is 17 million, Mr. Speaker, is because type B is an internal blocks, Mr. Speaker, which are 2 in 1. It is situated, you will see in the annex here, in the photos, block B is which is inside. It has the other side, the right side, and the left side. That is why their cost went high. Office block, external works, electrical, that was the breakdown, including the VAT, provisional sum, mechanical, electrical work, high mass flats, Mr. Speaker, mechanical installation. The mechanical installation include the cadres and some of the drainages, BC, and provisional sums. This is a lump sum amount, Mr. Speaker, which engineers and quantity surveyors always include in the PQ to cater for the unforeseen eventualities coming up, Mr. Speaker. The project is jointly funded by World Bank, World Bank's Kenya Urban Support Program, by Kenya shilling 105 million, and the county government of Kericho 100 million. The committee noted the contractor has been paid a total of 159,501,390.36 per attached payment schedule. This approximately 67% of the total cost. you will see the annexure number 5 on the breakdown of payment schedule. And you will realize, Mr. Speaker, that the payment of 159 has been broken down into 12 certificates, Mr. Speaker. You will see the attachment number 5. Tendering process. The advertisement for the construction of the modern market was undertaken on 28 August 2020. A total of 38 companies attended the site visit, the site meeting held on 2nd September 2020 at the site of the proposed construction. The tender opening was conducted on 11th September 2020 with 13 companies bidding to undertake the project. From 38 who attended the site visit, only 11 participated during tender opening. The tenders were evaluated on 22nd September 2020 with Chilk Construction Company Limited emerging as the lowest evaluated bidder with a bid amount of cash 234,970,538.49. Provisional opinion was sought from the head of supply chain management. A favorable opinion was given to the same in the report dated 10 December 2020. Consequently, Jill Construction Company Limited was notified for award of tender on 14 December 2020, which he duly accepted. He signed a contract with the county government of Kericho on 4th January 2021. The contract period was 24 months starting 22nd February 2021 to 22nd February 2023. You will see the annexure number 6, Mr. Speaker, is a copy of contractor's request for the extension of time. Mr. Speaker, when you see months from 2021, it was supposed to elapse on February this year, 2023. I will explain later why, Mr. Speaker, there has been a delay until then. The scope of works. The honorable member from Ainamo sought a statement, and among them was the scope. The scope of the work was including the construction of the main market comprising 3 blocks. Mr. Speaker, as you had seen on the bill of quantities, there was market 1, main 1, 2, 3. So it was construction of main market comprising 3 blocks. The construction of stalls type A and type B along the perimeter of the market, and the construction of the office block. Those you will see on the annexures on the photos. Those which are painted yellow, if it is colored, those are blocks of office blocks. The project completion and handing over was is slated for that 1st October 2023 at the end of this month. Status of the project. The physical percentage of the work done as of November 2022 is 75. I think there is an error. Should be November 2020. November 2022 is 75%. The total time elapsed is 32 months. Breakdown of the physical progress was preliminaries, was relocation of traders, is complete. Environmental insights assessment undertaken. Holding of the site that was costing almost 4.5 on bill 1. Construction of modern market status on 25th September 2023, main market. The activities was excavation work done, blinding, steel fixing, formwork complete, foundation columns, foundation walling, hardcore filling, slab structure 1, 2, 3 complete. Steel column 100% walling ongoing. Construction of stalls type B stalls block. Excavation of trenches spaces complete. Masonry foundation walling done. Masonry walling complete. Formwork to the beams complete. Steel reinforcement to beams complete. Installation of chemical anchor bolts to ring beams complete. RC, which is reinforced concrete, to ring beams complete. Installation of steel trusses complete. Type B stalls block 2. Main excavation of trenches spaces complete. Masonry foundation walling done.
masonry walling complete, attic filling done, formwork to beams complete, steel reinforcement to beams complete, installation of chemical anchor bolts to ring beams complete, reinforced concrete to ring beams complete, installation of steel trusses and roofing covering complete. Type B, block 3. Excavation of trenches, bases complete, masonry foundation walling complete, masonry walling complete, attic filling complete, formwork to columns complete. Formwork to beams complete, steel reinforcement to beams complete, installation of chemical anchor bolts to ring beams complete, RC concrete to ring beams complete, installation of steel trusses and covering ongoing. Type B, stalls, block 4. Excavation of trenches, spaces complete, masonry foundation walling done, masonry walling complete, attic filling complete, formwork to columns complete. Type A, stalls, block B. Excavation of trenches and bases complete, masonry foundation walling done, masonry walling complete, formwork to beams complete, steel reinforcement to beams complete, installation of chemical anchor bolts to ring beams complete, RC concrete to ring beams complete, installation of steel trusses complete. Type A, stall block is type A, stalls, block A. Excavation of trenches and bases complete, masonry foundation walling done, masonry walling complete, formwork to beams complete, formwork to subcolumns complete, steel reinforcement to beams complete, concrete to slab to stub columns complete. Stub columns, Mr. Speaker, you remember that this is a steel structure whereby it is being raised by steel. So, but before you erect a steel column, you have to do what we call a stub column. A stub column is a concrete column which is just from superstructure just up to the level of the substructure, and then now you fix the steel column. That is what we call stub column. Steel reinforcement to columns complete, installation of chemical anchor bolts to ring beams complete, RC is reinforced concrete to ring beams complete, installation of steel trusses complete, installation of high mass flat light, fabrication of the high mass ongoing. High mass, I think honorable members know, these are high mass flashlight which are some has been erected. Construction of office block to commence. Construction of a pollution to commence. So, Mr. Speaker, the reason why the construction of the office block and the pollution block is not yet done is because of the space, Mr. Speaker. You remember where the main market has been constructed, the traders used to trade there. So what with the knowledge of the clients and the architect and the engineers, Mr. Speaker, they had to relocate the traders to a site, so to pave way for construction of this main market. So once the space which was which they created was only enough to construct the market and those office block and the main market and the stores, Mr. Speaker. So the space which is meant to be to construct the pollution block and office block, Mr. Speaker, is not sufficient. So they need to again these main activities to be done, and then they move the traders from where they are doing trading now. They move into the complete market so that it can pave way for the construction of the pollution block. That's the reason why the pollution block and the office block has not yet commenced, is because of space. Stalls constructed. Honorable Bett inquired how many stalls were constructed. A total of 53 stalls was constructed and are ready for occupation. It should be noted that there were previous occupants of the market. During allocation, this person will be given first priority before any other person are considered. In determining who gets what, the department is proposing use of balloting system. Rental assessment shall be undertaken to determine how much it will cost to give out stall, because he had inquired how much will it cost to give out a stall. Type A, kiosk. When you see on page 11, type A is type A, kiosk is shown, and then and type B, kiosk, which is 31 in number. 31 in number are stall kiosks which are if you have visited the market, are stores which are along the highway. Those are 31 in numbers. And then to 22, the 11 are within inside the market, but it is 2 in 1. They are 11, but divided into 2. So it is 22 plus 31 plus 22. The Committee of Salvation. Committee on Land, Housing and Physical Planning, Settlement and Trade observed the following. 1, that the construction of a pollution block and office block has not started because of the reason I have enumerated. The market construction were done in two phases due to the limited space. That is the observation we note. Number 3, the proposed project completion and handover is slated for 31st October 2023. Although, Mr. Speaker, during our site visit, we noted that it is not quite practical, but although the speed is good, but by close of this month, we are not. Although the contractor has said he will hand over, but during our observation, it might not be the time. The contract period was 24 months, starting from 22nd February 2021 to 2021 to 22nd February 2023. Mr. Speaker, you will know that we worried why it was 24 months and it was supposed to be handed over on February, but it has not been handed over, Mr. Speaker. And the reason why it has not been handed over, Mr. Speaker, is because of the reason which is we have given under annexure number 6, whereby the contractor has sought for extension of time because of the reason that there was adverse weather condition when they were doing the substructure work, the foundation work, Mr. Speaker. The weather was not favorable. It was so rainy, so it affected the speed of the work. Number 2, there was political unrest. During there was a lot of mandamanos and what have you, and ongoing during the period. And Mr. Speaker, during the onset of this project, it started during the pandemic period, Mr. Speaker, whereby the crowding was not allowed. So the site was slightly closed down because of the corona pandemic. So those are the reason why the project was supposed to be handed over in February and it has not been handed over, and we sought as extension of time and it was extended. The contract period has expired without, according to us, it was not according to justifiable reason. They gave us the reason, but according to us, it was not justifiable. The committee further observed that the CC lands estimated the work done as of November 2022 was 75%. The committee noted that the stalls available for allocation to traders is 413, comprising of 53 type A and B kiosks and 360 stalls which are available in the main market against 1029 traders. This will be both a great challenge during allocation. Mr. Speaker, the traders who were registered during evacuation was 413 traders. And then there was another 600 plus unregistered traders, making a total of 1,029 traders. And remember, Mr. Speaker, the space which is available is 53 kiosks and 360 stalls. These 360 stalls is in 3. I told you, I read initially that the market has 3 main, is divided into 3. Type A, 1, 2, 3, and each has 120 tables. So 120 times 3 is 360. You add 53 you will see that it is around 413. Again, is now 1,000 plus traders who are interested, Mr. Speaker. There was no designated dump site and waste disposal. Those are the observation we note. Although the market is almost done, we realize that there is no designated dump site for waste disposal. The committee observed that a total of 159,501,360.36 has been paid to the contractor per the attachment summary. Mr. Speaker, the contractor has been paid 159, and we have, when you turn to annexure number 5, you will see the breakdown of the certificate, whereby the 159 million was broken down into 12 certificates. Certificate number 1 was 15 million, and it was paid on certificate 1 on 7 April 2021. Second certificate was 5th August 2021, amounting to 9 million. On October 2021, it was paid 16 million. On 24th January, it was paid 9 million of 2022. On 6th May 2022, it was paid 15 million. On 13th June, it was paid 9 million. 6th September, 10 million. 28th November, 16 million. 11th January, 13 million. 9th March, 10 million. That is 2023. And then 12th July, 14 million, and 22nd August 2023, it was paid 18 million. A total of 12 certificates amounting to 159,501,390 against 204 million. Committee recommendations. The county recommendation number 1. The county executive committee member in charge of land, housing, and physical planning and settlement should be responsible for monitoring and frequent evaluation of ongoing county projects. Proper certification of all projects should be done before payment and subsequent handover to the user department. This will avoid loss of public funds. Number 2, the allocation of market stalls should be done fairly to ensure that all the local traders benefit. And I think that is the interest of the person who are sorting this statement. First, project should be time-bound and periodic reports to be done where unforeseen delays as per the Public Procurement and Disposal Act and its regulation. That the department set aside a waste disposal site for use at the market, because, Mr. Speaker, it will be hazardous if the market will run without proper drainage and proper waste disposal site. The department should fast track the development of a policy on the management of the market. Number 6, the contractor should fast track the building of the pollution block, since lack of this facility is a hazard to the traders and residents. Further, the department should do proper drainage in the entire market, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, the existing pollution block or toilet is so tiny, Mr. Speaker, and it will not accommodate the large number of the market users. Thus, it is posing a lot of danger and hazardous environment. So, we are recommending that the contractor, before the prioritization of the market should be done. The project undertaken by the county in all the markets should be time-bound, Mr. Speaker. We are emphasizing this because there is another market which was done by county at Sondo, Mr. Speaker, and the time has elapsed. So I think we saw it fit that the project undertaken by county in all markets should be time-bound, so that because these are areas where traders are trading and doing businesses. Staff level in the department should be enhanced to ensure optimum service delivery and all time for the benefit of the county residents. The market committee should be involved in management and allocation of market stall to traders. More space should be created by utilizing the open space in the market, and additionally increase more floors in the story building at the main market in order to accommodate all the 1029 and more traders in the market. Mr. Speaker, I initially said that the design of this market, Mr. Speaker, was futuristic, Mr. Speaker. The reason why I'm saying this market was futuristic is because the design itself was designed in such a manner, if it get more funds, it will, the design was done to accommodate more spaces, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, when you see the annex of the pictures, we got to get you how the street structure was designed, Mr. Speaker. It's only the slab to be put in place and to create more space. So, according to our site visit, Mr. Speaker, and our inquiry, the said market each will carry up to a 10 stories. So if it will carry a 10-story one times the 3, it will carry more than 30 stories. To storage, Mr. Speaker. So if that if we will get money or we allocate more funds, Mr. Speaker, and that will be done, we'll forget the issue of space once and for all in our town. But we want to thank the designers because they were futuristic. The only element was limited by funds. Otherwise, the spaces could be utilized. But we thank them because it will accommodate more floors upstairs in each of the market, because the foundation was stable and the steel stanchions and columns which were erected was the capacity to carry itself weight in both loads and the embossed loads. Another observation is that recommendation: installation of solar panels in the market to cut on the cost of power bills, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, when you see how this market was done, the roofing was favorable for the installation of solar, so that at least, because when you visit those markets, Mr. Speaker, they are now removing the opaque iron sheet and putting the translucent iron sheet to accommodate, to provide for natural lights, because that building is so huge and it needs a lot of natural light. So in the previous design, they had put opaque iron sheet, but now when they realize that they need sufficient light, they are now using the BC SAM, which was in the PQ, to remove the opaque and replace with the translucent to accommodate or to create to give us more natural light, Mr. Speaker. So although that will be done, it needs almost a lot of light during the day again, Mr. Speaker. So as committee, we recommended that let them on the savings which they will save on the BC SAM, let the contractor install solar so that they can use solar during the day to light, and they will save and cut on electricity bill. So that is what we observe. Number 2, rainwater should be collected by provision of cutters on the building in the market. This will help to provide more water for use by traders in the market, and will help cut cost of the water bills. Mr. Speaker, the entire roofing of that market, Mr. Speaker, is so huge, and they are collecting a lot of rainwater, and there was no provision for collection of those rainwater. So as a committee, we recommended that the client or the engineer instruct the contractor on the savings again to put up and to collect the rainwater and install reinforced tanks on the market, so that all this water which has been collected through cutters and through rainwater be collected at the reinforced towers of tanks, and that can be used again to clean green produce, can be used to clean the market, can be used to use on pollution blocks, so that at least they cut on cost of water bills again, Mr. Speaker. Because if they can collect, it will be sufficient, and there will be no water bills. to these traders. There should be this designated dump site, waste disposal site in the market. We have said that the department should provide cold rooms to be used for storage of perishable goods in the market. Another thing, Mr. Speaker, is that they didn't provide for cold rooms and storage rooms, so that those wholesalers and distributors of green produce and other goods and goods which are being brought, they provided only for loading and offloading bay. But these goods, the traders doesn't have enough space to store before they sell. So we saw it fit that we recommend that they should provide for cold rooms and more storage, so that at least when the goods are brought, there is somewhere they can store before they sell, they retail. Acknowledgement. Allow me, Mr. Speaker, to take this opportunity to thank all the members of the Joint Committee on Land, Housing and Physical Planning and Settlement and Trade Industrialization Committee for their input and valuable contribution during site visit and committee meetings. The committee also takes this opportunity to thank the Office of the Speaker and the Clerk for their logistic support accorded to it. The committee appreciates the role played by the public in their participation during the fact-finding mission. Mr. Speaker, on behalf of the Joint Committee Land, Housing and Physical Planning and Settlement and Trade Industrialization, and pursuant to Standing Order number 205, it is my pleasant duty to present this report of Kericho Modern Market for consideration and approval by the Honorable House, Mr. Speaker. So before I exit, Mr. Speaker, you will go through the annexures, Mr. Speaker. There was colored photos, photographic evidence, which was supplied, and I wish they could have supplied to all honorable members as for
Order, Honorable Cheriot Bet. Order, Honorable Cheriot Bet. You want to still proceed with your point of order? So please, Desiree, you can hold.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Is it in order, Mr. Speaker, for an honorable member, especially our block of a chair and a pastor, Mr. Speaker, someone who we trust, especially is our treasurer on various welfare issues that we have, Mr. Speaker. He's a very good welfare, Mr. Speaker, and he was coming here to hand over photographic evidence, Mr. Speaker, within the socks, Mr. Speaker.
All right. Your point of order noted. The Sergeant at Arms will confirm whether the Honorable Peter Kemoy really has those shoes on. Meanwhile, proceed, the Honorable. Proceed.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. There is small clarification, otherwise I'm almost done, Mr. Speaker. When you see on the annex here, the tables which will be used by traders, Mr. Speaker. The way those tables were done, Mr. Speaker, was done in such a manner that if they provided a table and a storage space at the bottom of the table, Mr. Speaker. And we observe that if that can be utilized properly, one table can accommodate two traders because they provided sufficient space for the traders, Mr. Speaker. And what we observe again, Mr. Speaker, the contractor, through the guidance of the consultant, Mr. Speaker, accommodated even the person living with disability. There is some tables in one of the main market which are just which was designed to accommodate them. So they they considered all people. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, if you can see clearly, there is some red and white steels lying there. There's a prefabricated high mast which will be raised, Mr. Speaker. And then just the space where these steels masts are lying on is a space reserved for wholesalers and offloading and loading of goods, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, what we realize again, Mr. Speaker, although it was not captured, Mr. Speaker, is that they provided a big space for parking, Mr. Speaker. And what we saw as a committee, we discouraged the parking area to be there, Mr. Speaker. Reason being, if the parking space, the empty space is left, the traders who are coming, the traders will utilize, some of the traders who didn't get the stalls inside will come and sell outside. When they sell outside, they will paralyze those who are paying rent, because those who are selling will not be paying, Mr. Speaker. So what we did, what we saw and recommended to the contractor and the client, Mr. Speaker, is that outside the market, across the road, there was illegal structures and stall which was removed during Masujade preparation, and there is a lot of space there. So we recommended that, Mr. Speaker, let that space be fenced and be prepared well to be parking lots, so that if you want to go to market, you will park across the road and cross inside to the market, come do shopping and then go across. And that the space which were meant for parking inside, Mr. Speaker, we recommended that they do prefabricated steel stalls to be placed there, so that it create more space to accommodate more traders. So others, Mr. Speaker, maybe I'll get opportunity for more clarification later, but allow me to end there and thanking you for the facilitation. Others, thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much, the Honorable Chairman for the Joint Committee on Lands, Housing, Fiscal Planning, and Settlement and Industrialization. And of course, as a House, we must appreciate this committee. I think one statement raised by Honorable Philip Mutai was on 14 September, and one by the Honorable Cheriot Bett was on September 2023, 20th September. So I think this is among the reports, responses that have been responded on time. Honorable members, it shall be fair for me to, because standing orders is very clear, I will give to the chairman, the vice chairman for this committee, who essentially is the chairperson for trade, and then it will be fair for me to give to Honorable Philip Mutai and Honorable Cheriot Bett to get their views, and then perhaps we can proceed to do other matters. Honorable Martin.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity. And so by extension to the people of Kapukugere, where I represent. Mr. Speaker, sir, let me comment on the job that has been done by the committee, Joint Committee on Lands, Housing, Fiscal Planning and Settlement, and Trade and Industrialization for the job that has been done. This committee, Honorable Speaker, did a very extensive survey on the ongoing project that is of the market, modern market. And Honorable Speaker, this market will serve the traders.
Order, honorable members. Let us consult in no tones.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. Mr. Speaker, I'm sure this market, when it is complete, will serve the traders very well, and I'm sure the businesses that are carried out by those traders actually will flourish. Given that now the place is very neat, that market now is very accessible, even for the people who will be going there to purchase their goods, foodstuffs, and the rest. The Honorable Speaker, for quite a while, it has not actually been a very conducive place for our traders. But when we moved around, I being one of the committee members, and also an MCA from Kapugiri, where this market sits, these traders, Honorable Speaker, I can assure you they are very happy, and I know actually even the revenue that will be collected from this market actually will rise. I know this is one of the projects that we brag about, and hopefully I want to say we want to see more of these projects around our county, where our traders are given space, enough space and a conducive environment for their businesses. Honorable Speaker, I know actually this the number of stores, kiosks, and these stores may not be enough, but at least it will serve at the moment. And I know maybe in the future, as our chair said, the design of that market also provides for some additionals upstairs. So I want to commend the committee for doing such a wonderful job, and I also want to thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the good support. Otherwise, I support the report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
All right, thank you so much, the Honorable Martin. The Honorable Philip Mutai.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity to ventilate on the report. Mr. Speaker, I want to congratulate the Committee on Lands and Trade on the well-done report. Secondly, at least I've seen hope for the many small-scale traders getting a decent place to do their businesses. Thirdly, Mr. Speaker, sir, is I think we will realize the maximum collection of revenue when the stores will be completed. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir. I support the report.
All right, thank you so much, the Honorable Philip Mutai. The Honorable Cheriot Betts. Cheriot Betts. Cheriot Betts, please take your seat first. The Honorable Cheriot Betts, take your seat. I make a ruling on your earlier point of order. Of course, Sergeant Atama confirmed that the Honorable Peter Kemoy had his shoes by the time he was confirming. However, if it's true, or indeed it's true that at some point in time, the Honorable Member, you had your socks only, and you escaped the eye of the Sergeant at arms and the chair, then particularly at that point in time you are out of order. And therefore I request that honorable members put your clothes, be it shoes, socks, all the clothes that you wear inside these chambers, including your all the clothes, and I mean put your clothes intact. I think that should be very clear, so that you be decent. I wish you can dress like the Honorable Paul Chirchir, who is smartly dressed and has his shoes on. You can proceed then, Cheriot Bet.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Spika kwa kunipatia nafasi. Mimi pia niweze kuchangia Mheshimiwa Spika. Itakumbukwa kwamba mimi ni mojawapo kati ya wale ambao walikuwa wameuliza maswali kadhaa kuhusiana na ujenzi unaoendelea kule chini. Mheshimiwa Spika, kuhusiana na hiyo hoja ya nidhamu, Mheshimiwa Spika, ushaweza kumaliza kwa sababu alivua viatu vyake na haraka iwezekanavyo akaweza pia kuvivalia. Lakini hata na hivyo, Mheshimiwa Spika, kwanza kabisa nataka nitoe kongole zangu kwa kamati, Mheshimiwa Spika, kwa sababu waliweza kuandaa ripoti ambayo kwangu mimi, Mheshimiwa Spika, naweza nikasema kwamba wameweza kujibu yale maswali yangu yote ambayo nilikuwa nimeyauliza. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, kongole kwa kamati ambayo inaongozwa na mheshimiwa wangu kiongozi aliyekuwa kiongozi wa walio wengi katika bunge hili mwaka 2017 hadi 2022. Mheshimiwa Spika, yale maswali yangu yote nimesema kwamba nimeridhika na yale majibu, na labda tu Mheshimiwa Spika, pia sisi kama wenyekiti tumeweza kujifunza mengi. Kwanza kabisa utakumbuka kwamba mimi mwenyewe niliuliza swali hilo tarehe 20 mwezi uliopita, lakini mwezi mmoja haujakamilika na wameweza kutoa majibu, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hivyo hata na sisi kama wenyekiti, Mheshimiwa Spika, tunajifunza kwao kwamba wakati tumeulizwa baadhi ya mambo yanayoangukia katika idara yetu, inafaa pia na sisi tuharakishe, Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, Waswahili husema kanzu ya Ijumaa huvaliwa ama huvuliwa Alhamisi, Mheshimiwa Spika. Ndio maana niliuliza baadhi ya maswali haya kwa sababu tulikuwa tumeambiwa miradi hii ni mojawapo kati ya miradi itakayofunguliwa na Mheshimiwa Rais wakati wa Mashujaa, na hivyo basi tungetaka mwanakandarasi aliyepata kandarasi aweze kuimaliza haraka iwezekanavyo, Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, hata ingawa miradi hii ilichelewa kwa takriban mwaka moja, Mheshimiwa Spika, lakini hivi sasa naona wanaharakisha sana, Mheshimiwa Spika, na yale sababu ambazo mwanakandarasi alitoa iliyoweza kusababisha kukamilika kwa wakati uliofaa, Mheshimiwa Spika, kwangu mimi naona labda kidogo, Mheshimiwa Spika, haiwezi, kwa sababu wamesema kwanza kabisa kulikuwa na maandamano siku hiyo, Mheshimiwa Spika. Mheshimiwa Spika, itakumbukwa kwamba maandamano hayakuwa yakifanyika kila siku, yalikuwa yanafanyika labda mara moja kwa wiki, lakini alitoa sababu kwamba kuchelewa kwa miradi hii, Mheshimiwa Spika, ilikuwa kutokana na maandamano. Kwa hivyo wafanyikazi wake sijui wanatoa wafanyikazi wapi, kwa sababu mimi ni mwenyeji wa kaunti hii na hatukuwa na maandamano katika kaunti hii, kwa sababu sisi tulipigia kura Rais William Ruto na naibu wake Rigathi Gachagua. Kwa hivyo hatukuwa na maandamano yoyote katika kaunti yetu. Kwa hivyo sijui alitoa wapi sababu kama hizi, lakini hata na hivyo pia anasema kulikuwa na mvua nyingi, lakini itakumbuka kwamba mvua haiwezi sana kusababisha kucheleweshwa kwa miradi kama hii ambayo ingeweza kusaidia wenyeji wa kaunti hii kwa muda wa mwaka mmoja, kwa sababu hata sasa hivi, Mheshimiwa Spika, mvua inanyesha lakini kazi inaendelea, kazi ya matayarisho ya siku ya Ijumaa Mashujaa. Kwa hivyo Mheshimiwa Spika, nataka tu labda niweze kuambia wanakamati hii wale ambao, Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna wale ambao walikuwa wanauza katika sehemu hiyo, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kulingana na orodha hapa, Mheshimiwa Spika, tuko na watu karibu 413 ambao walijiandikisha. Alafu kuna wale wengine 600 ambao hawajaandikisha. mimi ombi langu kuu Mheshimiwa Spika ni kwamba wakati watapatiana vyumba hivi vya biashara, Mheshimiwa Spika, nataka niombe kwanza kabisa waipatie kipaumbele wenyeji wa kaunti hii. Mheshimiwa Spika, sababu moja ya kuwa na ugatuzi ni kuweza kuchukua nafasi na rasilimali kule mashinani. Mheshimiwa Spika, Mheshimiwa Spika, sitakuja hapa kama mwakilishi wa wodi ya Inamoi, Mheshimiwa Spika, alafu nikuje waende Mheshimiwa Spika wapatiane vyumba ambavyo vilijengwa kutumia rasilimali ya wenyeji wa kaunti hii kupatia wale ambao wanatoka kaunti nyingine, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hivyo nataka niwaombe kwa heshima kuu, Mheshimiwa Spika, kwamba wenyeji wa kaunti hii kwanza wapatiwe nafasi. Katiba inasema lazima watu kutoka sehemu hii wafaidike kwanza, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hivyo hata ingawa wale ambao washajiandikisha ni wale ambao wamejiandikisha ni takribani 413, lakini pia nataka mwenyekiti ambaye amefanya kazi mzuri sana. Najua pia mwenyekiti kamati ya biashara ilichangia, sitaki niseme sana, lakini najua mwenyekiti wa kamati ya mashamba, manyumba na upangaji, Mheshimiwa Spika, alifanya kazi kubwa. Lakini hata na hivyo pia natoa shukrani kwa mwenyekiti kamati ya biashara kwa sababu alifanya kazi na yeye, Mheshimiwa Spika. Lakini sasa nataka watupatie orodha, majina ya wale ambao washaandikishwa. Nataka yale majina. Nataka pia majina ya wale ambao ni 6 ambao hawajaandikishwa, ili tujue. Lakini la maana, Mheshimiwa Spika, kule nyuma nimeona wameweka pia fomu ya maombi ya wale ambao watatoa maombi kutumia vyumba ambavyo vimejengwa. Kwa fomu hiyo, Mheshimiwa Spika, nimeona pahali ambapo wanaandika unatoka kaunti ndogo. Sub county kwa Kiswahili, Mheshimiwa Spika, ni kaunti ndogo. Kwa hivyo hapo ndio tunajua mwanabiashara huyu anatoka kaunti ndogo gani. Pia hapo, Mheshimiwa Spika, kuna pale ambapo unaandika ward ambao unatoka, Mheshimiwa Spika. Kwa hivyo pia hapo itatusaidia ili tuweke kichungi. Kama unatoka kaunti nyingine utapata zile katiba zimesema. Lakini Mheshimiwa Spika, tukijaribu kuangalia, ukienda kaunti zingine, Mheshimiwa Spika, utapata mkipsigis ama wakipsigis wengi wanauza. Kwa hivyo lazima pia kamati hii wakati mtapatiana lazima tuketi pamoja, kwa sababu na tugawe kwa ward zetu. Tunataka tugawe kwa ward zetu. Rasilimali hapa, Mheshimiwa Spika, tunagawa kwa ward. Kwa hivyo kama uko na wale majirani wako ambao wanatoka kaunti zingine, utawapatia nafasi zako. Lakini sisi wengine ambao labda ward zetu ina jamii ambao tunawakilisha sisi, tupatiwe nafasi zetu, tuende tuwapatie watu kule nyumbani. Kwa hivyo mimi nasema, lakini hata na hivyo, Mheshimiwa Spika, nataka nishukuru sana kwa sababu wameweza kutoa ripoti kwa wakati ambao unafaa. Asante sana, Mheshimiwa Spika.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Cheriot kwa Kiswahili sanifu. Nikukumbushe tu kwamba katika assembly hii tuko na ambaye ana represent Mama Mboga, and I want to direct the Honorable Chairperson for lands, not lands implementation, because this report is going to the implementation, that the Honorable Lily Sirma, when this, because she was part of those Mama Mbogas somewhere there in that market, be included or be incorporated in a team that will be set up, of course, when you are allocating these stalls. So the Committee on Implementation will pick up the report and on the recommendation, because honorable members, I want to remind you of our standing orders. I know you want to comment on this, but it gives me 20 minutes, and we have other agendas. But because I know the Deputy Speaker is in your ward, Honorable Chirchir, you have seen your hand up, Isaac Medker. I'll give you a minute each, please. The Honorable Maritim. I'll start with the Honorable Maritim. Please let me start with the Honorable Maritim. I want to give you a minute each to comment. Just a minute. Just a minute. Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for recognizing me that I'm a 1 minute man. Mr. Speaker, sir, not in everything but in the assembly, Mr. Speaker, sir. Can you protect me, Mr. Speaker, sir, from this guy? Mr. Speaker, sir.
Order, members. Order. Proceed. You said you are a Mr. Minute man. Proceed.
Yes, Mr. Speaker, sir. We are all happy, Mr. Speaker, sir, as a county. Not as people of Kapsukuru, Mr. Speaker, sir, as elected by the member from Kapsukuru, Mr. Speaker. This is a county project and is a well-funded project, Mr. Speaker, sir. So we are happy as county, Mr. Speaker, sir, not as a particular region. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, I want to thank the committee for doing a good job. Though, Mr. Speaker, sir, I have some concerns. I can see, Mr. Speaker, sir, the previous occupants of the market are given first priority. We don't know who are the previous occupants. We want to know by names, where they come from, and the number, Mr. Speaker, sir. Again, Mr. Speaker, when against Department proposing use of balloting system. If it is yes or no, Mr. Speaker, I am against this report. Balloting, Mr. Speaker, unless it is done by Pricewaterhouse in Nairobi, Mr. Speaker, then I can accept, Mr. Speaker. Yes, PricewaterhouseCoopers, Mr. Speaker, sir. Otherwise, this yes or no, Mr. Speaker, sir, I am against. We have done yes or no previously. In these jobs which were awarded for, we were constructing the stadium, Mr. Speaker. Those who got yes, they never get jobs. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, this balloting, I'm against, and I totally disagree with it. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, unless my issues and concerns are given first priority, I am not supporting this document. Thank you.
Thank you so much, the Honorable Maritim, on that. Maybe just to remind you is that this is a proposal, and as I directed earlier, as I'll give a further direction later, the Committee on Implementation will pick up the matter jointly with the Committee on Lands to ensure that your issues are addressed. The Honorable Moses, let us be all of us 1 minute man, please.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity also to speak to this matter. Mr. Speaker, I wish to concur with our ranking member, the Honorable Cheriot Bett, that, Mr. Speaker, we have one Kericho County Assembly, Mr. Speaker, in this county. That we have one county referral hospital, Mr. Speaker, in this county. That we have one Kericho Green Stadium, Mr. Speaker. And now we have one Kericho County market, Mr. Speaker. We have 30 wards in Kericho County, Mr. Speaker. That all of us must be represented, must get a share. Market and trade, Mr. Speaker, is one form of integration. It is one form of symbol of unity. Mr. Speaker, the issue of ballot, Mr. Speaker, must not arise at any point. We must get an allocation that is equally fair, represented, justifiable, and accountable, Mr. Speaker, reflecting the face of the great Kericho County. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you so much, the Honorable Dr. Moses Rotich. Honorable Isaac Metker. A minute. Yes, the Honorable.
It's nothing called like point of order, Mr. Speaker, sir.
Order, you can just take your seat first. There's a point of order from the Honorable Cheriot, but take your seat.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity. Mr. Speaker, I think the Honorable Matt Kerr is not well dressed, Mr. Speaker. You are seeing him signaling the surgeon there, and he has already talked with the surgeon at the back that when you are given an opportunity to see the trouser, you say it is good, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, we have already said this, not once, Mr. Speaker, many times, that the honorable members, we need to dress ourselves in suit. The only Matkeri is the only MCA who is not in a suit, Mr. Speaker, because the trouser borders on jeans and something else which I do not even want to mention, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, and as I say, Mr. Speaker, you do not trust our surgeon so much because, you know, these are guys, Mr. Speaker, who is money, Mr. Speaker. We can spray the entire county assembly, Mr. Speaker, if you do not take action yourself. I want to propose, Mr. Speaker, with a lot of humility, that you step down from where you sit, Mr. Speaker, and you visit where the honorable Matkeri is, because I don't trust the highs of these surgeon at times. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Yes, the honorable Moses, Dr. Moses Rotich.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Maybe before you rule on a point of order, Mr. Speaker, this is a matter that is coming up the second and the third time, Mr. Speaker, that I would wish that we have an appropriate prescription, Mr. Speaker, of dressing code. Mr. Speaker, if in any case, Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Matkir, in his wardrobe, Mr. Speaker, and in his wisdom of sight, Mr. Speaker, that is the sense of sight, Mr. Speaker, so it fit that, Mr. Speaker, protect me, Mr. Speaker, that he saw it fit that, Mr. Speaker, he was best placed, Mr. Speaker, to dress in that code, Mr. Speaker, is quite in order. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, so that we bring it to closure, that matter, the Honorable Isaac Metkel, I had given you an opportunity to make your contribution on this statement, but I'm afraid that the Sergeant at Arms has confirmed that you are not properly dressed, and I therefore direct that you leave the chambers, and before you go, the Honorable Matkar, I'll next time please dress appropriately. That is something that we had agreed last time. Sergeant at Arms, escort the Honorable Isaac Matkar out of the chambers. All the honorable members, let us now proceed. The Honorable Paul Chirchir, and then I'll give to Honorable Deputy Speaker, and then now we can proceed to the other motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me an opportunity to make my contribution on the report on statement raised by the Honorable Cherio Dot and Honorable Philip Mutai. The Speaker, sir, we are a house of rules and procedures. And whenever we read our standing orders, it describes very well the mode of dressing. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, it's high time that we take the dress code very seriously in this house, because that is part of the standing order. So whenever you go against the standing order, you dress the opposite. That means you're breaching the standing orders, and it attracts penalties, Mr. Speaker. So back to this week, as we expect the beehive of activities this Friday, Mr. Speaker. This is a report that is well researched, backed up with evidence, and not only evidence, Mr. Speaker, sir, it is very technical. Technical in terms of its, even they've gone further outside the terms of reference, and they're even telling us what is in the market, what we expect when the market, the new market is complete, Mr. Speaker, sir. This indeed is a World Bank project,
And for a very long time, we have been in the dark. The previous government did not give us this information. The previous committees did not give us much information. So I laud the joint committee for doing a good job. And the other committees, where I'm also a member, we need to borrow from these two committees because they've done very well. The Speaker, sir, once the market is complete, Kericho County is one. We have 30 wards, we have 6 sub-counties. I propose that we share the county cake to get to every corner of this county, Mr. Speaker, sir. No one county, no one sub-county should enjoy any monopoly, Mr. Speaker, sir. I want to support the Honorable Moses Rotich, who said we have one green stadium, one Kericho County market, Mr. Speaker, one referral hospital, which will be in Londiani. So I propose that as they also use the ballot, the yes and no, or whichever way they use, Mr. Speaker, they should make sure that in that market, all the 30 wards are represented inside that market, Mr. Speaker, sir. That will be a true reflection of representation in the entire county, and that is also the essence of devolution, where money will circulate within the county and get to every corner of our county, Mr. Speaker, sir. So because of the 1 minute rule that you told us to be 1 minute men and women, Mr. Speaker, I beg to end and ask everybody that on Friday, since we'll have more guests in the county, our hotels may be full. I offer to host 5 guests, Mr. Speaker, sir, of 8 agenda, Mr. Speaker, sir.
All right. Order, the Honorable Paul Chitsi. Your last statement, you are out of order. The Honorable Paul Chitsi. The Honorable Deputy Speaker, so that we proceed.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance to also support the report on the Committee on Lands and Trade. And I must thank the both committees for proactively answering to a statement in a very short time. As Chairman Larson, I want to congratulate the 2 chairs for Trade and Lands for showing the way that a statement can be answered promptly without being reminded in the House. So thank you so much, the chairs. Keep it up. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, sir, I have seen the report has made some recommendations. I've also heard the sentiments from members of the House. And I wish to say that as recommended here, I'm in full support of a fair way of sharing. Mr. Speaker, sir, in the last assembly, I remember there was, before this project began, there was hue and cry by the people who are in the market. And I'm happy to have also been captured because that time it was the 2 area MCS. It was myself and Honorable Collins Begon from MCA Kapuguru who went to the site to cool down the people who had refused to give way for this market. And there was an agreement which is in the Lands Department and also Trade, which I think, as you look at all these things, looking at the county cake in general, we look at also the bigger picture, look at also the what was agreed before then. So I wish to say that I support sharing of these particular stalls, but let also those who had been removed out of an agreement, an MOU, be also considered so that we have a win-win situation in this thing. So with that remarks, Mr. Speaker, sir, I say thank you for giving me this chance. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable Deputy Speaker. Now, with that contribution, we have come to the end on the report on that statement raised by Honorable Cheriot Bet and Philip Mutai, dealt by the Joint Committee on Land, Housing, Physical Planning and Settlement and Trade and Industrialization. And as I had earlier I want to direct that the Committee on Implementation, jointly with Lands, because of the salient issues that have been raised by the honorable members, and I can, as you can see from this report, honorable members, that the market is almost complete. Please, you engage the executive on the best modalities on how these tolls will be allocated to our traders. Please note that that will be a report that you ought to table before this house, perhaps when we are back from recess. The chairman Lance, you will work jointly with Committee on Implementation. The Honorable Chairman Lance, are you in the house? Are you in the house? You are. Yes, Chairman. I have directed. Please confirm to the House, and you can confirm what the Chair has directed that you will implement. Proceed to the mic and confirm. And you confirm what the Chair has directed that you will implement.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I agree that we'll work with Chairman implementation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Chairman, and you will table back the reports to this House after recess. And you, the Sergeant at Arms, please provide some more water to the Chairman Lance, so that you can realize that he must have been, the sugar level was down. So add more bottles of water, because we still have some order of business to proceed. Clerk, next order.
Order number 8, motion by Chairman of Public Accounts and Investment Committee.
Honorable members, there is a motion by the Chairman, Public Accounts and Investment Committee, and I want to again congratulate this committee for the good work that they have done. Since the report by the Chairperson Liaison, they have worked hard, burnt midnight oil, and one report already is out. And I give you this opportunity, the Honorable Chairman, to table your motion, to move your motion.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity. I now move the motion that this House adopts the report of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the Auditor General's report of the County Executive of Kericho for the year ended 30 June 2021. Mr. Speaker, sir, we have our first report as back, and I would also like to appreciate the support from you and also the members who have worked hard and the Secretariat to have this report. Mr. Speaker, sir, this report is voluminous, and we have divided into two, where we have summarized our report in the first few pages, and we have the other report, the detailed report, in the other pages. Mr. Speaker, sir, I will first take the members into page 3, where we have definitions, so that you can read the definitions in case you find this abbreviation in the report. You can be able to look at that acronyms and abbreviation. Mr. Speaker, I would like to define the terms also that we have used, that the auditor normally use to describe the report. First of all, members, the disclaimer is when the auditor is unable to review full and entity documentation because there is a substantial amount of information that is missing. The absence of information makes it hard and difficult for the Auditor General to make an opinion. In other words, the auditor feels unable to determine whether the situation is qualified or adverse because the paperwork is not adequate. This is a serious lapse in compliance and should be of concern to the oversight bodies. A disclaimer indicates that the record keeping is so bad to the extent that the auditor cannot give an opinion. Adverse opinion is issued when the auditor is unable to review the entity's documentation supplied for audit purpose, and final audit reveals problems that are widespread, pervasive,
and will require considerable changes to remedy. This is equivalent to scoring a pass in an examination. Oversight institutions, in our case now, are concerned to recommend remedies to address such anomalies and systems. Now, qualified opinion, which is now, this report is a qualified opinion. So for you to understand, this is as a result of the Auditor General finding some problems that are not widespread or persistent with documentation and information supplied. The auditor received all information required for audit. However, after review of the audit reviews that there are some gaps in adherence and compliance of legal process. Unqualified opinion. This arises when the Auditor General is satisfied with the documentation presented for review. It implies that there are no major problems with the documentation and information that were presented for assessment and funds are managed properly. Now, members, as per the Section 14 of the County Government Act, establishes that the committee which empowers the county assemblies to establish committees and make standing orders for the orderly conduct of these proceedings, including the proceedings of committees. The Public Investment and Accounts Committee is further established by Kericho County Assembly Standing Order number 200, whose mandate is as follows. Number 1, the examination of accounts showing appropriation of sum voted by Assembly to meet the public expenditure and of such other accounts laid before the Assembly as committee may think fit. The examination of reports, accounts, workings of the county public investments, e.g. for example Kewasco and Kabianga in our case. The examination in context of autonomy and efficiency of county public investments, whether the affairs of the county public investments are being managed in accordance with the sound financial or business principles and prudent commercial practices. Provided that the committee shall not examine any of the following: matters of major county national government policy as distinct from business or commercial functions of public investment, matters of day-to-day administration, and matters for consideration of which machinery is established by special statute and which particular county public investment is established. The County Public Investment and Accounts Committee is the avenue through which the County Assembly, under the provisions of Article 185, 3 and 4, carries out ex post scrutiny of county budgets.
Chair,
we have,
please proceed to page 8. The membership is well known by members.
Yes.
Please
Yeah. Now, we are page 8. Now, members, this is where we have the executive summary, where we have summarized our report. And this is where you can now get information. Yes. The committee examined reports of the Auditor General on the financial statement of the County Executive of Kericho for financial year ended 30 June 2021 and identified various fiduciary risks. During the year under review, County Executive of Kericho had challenges with provision of documents to Auditor General for audit verification. The non-provision of documents left the County Executive of Kericho unable to account for a substantial amount of monies. This in turn leads to an offense as stipulated under Section 62(1) of Public Audit Act 2015. The report also revealed that the County of Kericho were not able to apply proper practices, and the financial statements were characterized by inaccuracies which caused the figures in the financial statements differ with amount in the ledgers. Substantial expenditure was also done outside IFMIS, hence weakening the internal controls put by the financial system. The audit report further revealed that the county executive awarded contracts irregularly, whereby 2 companies owned by 1 director was awarded significant contracts. Therefore, the county government may not have gotten value for money. Mr. Speaker, I beg for
order, members. Order, members. Chair Cooperative, you're out of order.
Thank you. During the period, it was observed that the county executive did not attain their own resource revenue target At the same time, the county had huge pending bills dating back to the financial year 30th June 2017. Similarly, the county executive did not utilize 7% of the approved budget during the period. There was under expenditure of 53% on other grants and transfers. This underutilization of the funds budgeted for was indication that services and approved programs were not delivered to the residents of Kericho. Therefore, the budget did not meet intended objectives of improving service delivery to the residents of Kericho County. Lastly, the report revealed that there was a poor workmanship in various projects being implemented by the county executive during the period. This was occasioned by poor supervision and commission of county officers and the contractors, thus leading to loss of public funds. In addition to the observation outlined in this executive summary, this report also contains specific observations and recommendations for respective audit queries.
I need your protection there, the Speaker. I cannot concentrate. Thank you. Members, please give the Chair Public Accounts to read the report.
Thank you. General observation and recommendation. The committee made the following general observations and recommendations. Number 1, for the unsupported expenditure. The committee noted that at that time of audit, a lot of expenditure was not fully supported. However, when the CEC for Finance and Economic Planning and his team appeared before the committee, he provided supporting documents for the expenditure. The committee recommends that all supporting documents should be provided to the auditors at the time of audit as stipulated in the section 9(1)(f) of the Public Audit Act 2015. Inaccuracies in financial statements. The committee noted that financial statement figures and ledgers figures did not tally, which the management attributed to the expenditure out of IFMI system. At the same time, there was misclassification of expenditure where the wrong budget lines were charged. The committee recommends that the management should put in place strong internal control system to ensure that the budget is utilized as appropriate. An approval should be sought from the county assembly for unintended additional expenditure through supplementary budget. The accounting officer will be held personally liable for incurring expenditure not approved by the county assembly. Delay in remittance of statutory deductions. The committee noted that there were several instances where there was delay in remittance of statutory deductions, which the management attributed to it to delay in the exchequer releases. The committee recommends that county executive should ensure that all statutory deductions are remitted every month upon receipt of exchequer to avoid penalties and delays. Budgetary control and performance. The committee noted that there was under absorption of 53% of the budget for the currents and transfers, which greatly affected the performance of the intended activity. The committee recommends that the management should strive to fully utilize the budget through proper planning and scheduling most of the development projects to be done on or before the third quarter to allow enough time for inspection, processing of payments, and the collection of revenue. The committee noted that the county executive has never made the revenue target in the current and previous financial years, which greatly affect the service delivery in the county government. The committee recommends the following administrative actions to be implemented to enhance revenue collections. A. Full automation of revenue collections. No revenue should be paid in cash. B. The management should ensure that there is enough personnel in revenue collection and enforcement. C. Put in place strong internal mechanisms and disciplinary action to be taken against officers engaged in fraud-led activities. D. Enhance capacity building of revenue personnel, regular transfers to avoid collusion. E. Full enforcement and implementation of Finance Act to increase revenue streams. Number 6 is non-adherence to ethnic balance requirement. The committee noted that most of the employees of county executive are from the major dominant ethnic community in the county, representing 88%. The management should ensure that future recruitments will be done in a way that reflects the face of Kenya and in compliance with Article 27 Section 4 of Constitution of Kenya. Number 7, summary of non-current asset register. The committee noted that asset register maintained by the management is not updated, thus not reflecting the true position of current county assets. At the same time, the safety and custody of the county asset is not guaranteed. Most county lands are not demarcated, fenced, some are disputed. The committee recommends that the county executive should develop a comprehensive asset register and ensure that the ownership of documents are under their custody. All bare lands should be identified and fenced. They should also ensure that all disputed lands are finalized and proper custody of all movable and movable assets. Number 8 is pending bills. The committee noted that there has been continuous non-attainment of own source revenue target, which contributed to increase in pending bills, as well as undertaking activities which were not budgeted for. The committee further observed that some pending bills relate to financial year ended June 2017. The committee, in compliance with National Treasury circulars, recommends pending bills be given fast charge in subsequent financial cycle, as well as performing activities which are budgeted and in procurement plan. Lack of user requisitions and quarterly reports. The committee noted that even though the user requisitions and quarterly reports were provided to the committee, the same was not provided to the auditors at the same time of audit. The committee also noted that county executive did not submit the regular reports to the assembly as by Article 183/3 of the Constitution of Kenya. The committee recommends that all the necessary documentation should be provided to the auditors at the same time of audit in line with the Public Audit Act of 2015, and all the county departments should prepare quarterly reports and copy to be submitted to the county assembly for respective departmental committee review. Number 10, irregular award of contracts. The committee noted that Kenya shillings 93,206,978, which is 12% of total payments of Kenya shillings 775,900,600 paid during the period of construction roads, were paid to 2 companies owned by 1 director. They further noted that the framework contracting in the construction of roads and other works could be abused to unfairly benefit specific companies. The committee recommends that the sectoral committees for departments involved in major construction works to review the framework contracts currently being undertaken to ensure that there are no malpractices and are done within the law. They should also ensure that there is fair competition among the contractors. County Executive Board to undertake disciplinary measures on officers involved in awarding of irregular contracts, the 2 contractors stated in the audit. Number 11, unsupported construction of drainage, minor roads at Londiani town. The committee noted that supporting documents related to the project was not provided to the auditors, contrary to the provisions of Public Audit Act 2015. In relation to the access of documents and records of a procuring entity, in this case, the auditor was not able to assess the performance of the contract. The committee recommends that all the necessary documentations and records should be provided to the auditors at the time of audit in line with Section 9 of the Public Audit Act 2015, and the County Public Service Board to take administrative action against the officers who do not provide the supporting documents for the above stated project. Number 12, construction of ECD classroom, Jematic Primary School. The committee noted that the contract sum of project was Kenya shillings 1,680,000, and the same had been paid in full without deducting the retention of 10% to cover for the defects identified after the completion of the contract. It was further noted that at the time of audit, building had major cracks on the floors, walls, all veranda floor was damaged, yet the full payments has been made. This is a sign of poor workmanship. Section 48 of the Public and Procurement
and Disposal Act requires that the Inspection and Acceptance Committee to ensure that goods, works, services are in compliance with the terms specification of the contract, if not rejected on behalf of the procuring entity. Committee recommends that the project engineer, the inspection committee, should be held personally liable for poor supervision and approval for payments for work which was substandard. All payments for work should be done less 10% retention to cover for defects. Liability. Number 13, construction of fire station in Bureti sub-county. The committee noted that Kenya shillings 5,321,385 was paid to contractor, which represents 65% of the contract sum. However, the structure was at foundation and walling stage, which was not commensurate with the amount paid. The committee further noted that the contract, which was awarded and works commenced without structural and architectural drawings to guide the implementation of the project. The contractor has since abandoned the works, and the remaining amount of Kenya shillings 2,927,760 may not be enough to complete the project. The committee recommends that disciplinary action to be taken on the officers responsible for the implementation and supervision of the project and for awarding the contract without structural architectural drawings, as well as authorizing more payments than works done. Legal action be sought against the contractor and be blacklisted for abandoning the works after being paid greater percentage of the contract sums than the works done. Number 14, expenditure above the approved budget. The committee observed that the county executive incurred expenditure above the approved budget in the use of goods and services, social security benefits. The committee recommends that the accounting officers held personally liable for authorizing expenditure above the approved budget. This is the part of the report. We have the legal framework. Article 185 of the Constitution of Kenya sets out the roles of the county assembly, which includes oversight, the county executives and its organs. This oversight role may be exercised through committees as stipulated in Section 14 of the County Government Act. The Committee on the Public Investment and Accounts Committee derived its specific mandate for Standing Order Number 200 of Kericho County Assembly Standing Orders. Article 201 of the Constitution outlines the principle of the finance management to be observed at both levels of government, and these include openness, accountability, public participation, and prudent, responsible financial management. Office of the Auditor. The Office of the Auditor General is established pursuant to Article 229 of the Constitution, whose mandate are within 6 months after end of each financial, and the Auditor General shall audit and report in respect of that financial year of the county government. Further, functions of the Auditor General are highlighted in Section 7 of the Public Audit Act 2015. The Office of the Auditor General forwards reports on the financial operations of the county for specific financial years to County Assembly, pursuant to the provision of Article 229(7) and Section 9 of the Public Audit Act 2015. The reports, once stable, stand committed to Committee on Public Accounts, Public Investment and Accounts. Sittings of the committee. The committee held several meetings, including meetings with the county executive, member in charge of finance and planning and economic planning, and other county officials in the month of October, with considering the report of Auditor General on County Executive of Kericho for the year ended 30th June 2021. The sittings were primarily investigatory, and the committee received evidence from County Executive Committee member of Finance Economic Planning as the head of County Treasury of Kericho. The Chief Officer of Finance and the county officials accompanied the County Executive Committee member of the Finance and Economic Planning. Issues for determination. The issues for investigation and determination were the various audit queries contained in the report of the Auditor General on County Executive of Kericho for the year ended 30th June. This report is issued pursuant to the requirements of Article 185(3)(4) and 229(8) of the Constitution of Kenya and the Kericho County Assembly Standing Orders, Order Number 200. Guiding principles. The committee, in arriving at a particular recommendation, took into account the responses given by the county executive member in charge of finance and community planning, the mitigation measures by the county, the fact that some issues required immediate attention having been overtaken by events. The committee was further guided by mandate of the County Assembly pursuant to provision of 185, 3 and 4 of Constitution, particularly the need oversight the county executive and check on whether the county resources have been prudently utilized. Where any breach of law has been as an attendant remedy, consequent or penalty in law, recommendation of this report do not preclude any liability that may arise as a result of legislation within the breach of prescribed law. Thank you very much, members. This is the summary of the report. The report is a bit long, and I would like to seek guidance from the speaker, because we have summarized the report, but the other ones is the management response as per the time, and the observations, and maybe what the members' observation from the committee, and the management response, and the recommendations.
So thank you, Chair. Based on what you presented this afternoon, what is coming after your report is basically the extract from the Auditor's General report, which is available for members, just like we normally have annexures to support a report from the committee. So that will form part of the information where members can interrogate and also give further input on what the committee has done so far. So, Chairman Park.
Mr. Speaker, sir, I would like to request my colleague member to continue with the next part of the report. To continue from the next page after the executive summary, page 19.
From page 19.
To continue, yes. To continue. Thank you. Welcome.
Who is that?
So maybe, Mr. Speaker, sir, maybe for your direction, is it continuation in terms of reading or seconding? Because this one is a summarized. Chairman has already summarized everything before.
Yes, yes. So I presume so, because what I've seen from the other pages is just backing up what the committee has done in terms of the details and what they have recommended. So for me, this is like an mixture to support the report.
Okay, so in support, in seconding?
Yes, seconding.
Okay, thank you. So maybe, Chairman, you can allow me before I second that I go to the last page. The last page of this document on committee observation.
Which page is that?
Recommendations, page 55.
55?
Yes, page 55.
Okay. Page 55, the last page, yes.
Okay, so I thought it was a general observation, but I've seen it. It is specific audit query.
Yes, it's specific.
So I will only go and second this motion. So, Mr. Speaker, thank you for this opportunity, so that I support other chairs as read, by saying that I want to take members to executive summary, whereby the executive summary gives us the risk of what happened in that financial year of 2020, 2021, and what brought about the questions. And Mr. Speaker, in that executive summary, if you can allow me to read paragraph 3, it says that the report also revealed that the county of Kericho were not able to apply proper accounting practices, and the financial statements are characterized by inaccuracies, which caused the figures in the financial statement differs with the amount in the ledgers. And Mr. Speaker, only this risk caused question number 2 on page 10, inaccuracies in the financial statements, and it also brought about unsupported expenditures. And Mr. Speaker,
The second risk was paragraph number 5. During the period it was observed that the county executive did not attain their own source revenue target. So at the same time, the county had huge burning bills dating back to the financial year ended 30th June 2017. I'll take you, Mr. Speaker, to page 34 of this report. So, Mr. Speaker, page 35, sorry. So, 2.0, under collection of local revenue. So, Mr. Speaker, the county executive of Kericho had projected 654, and this one comprises of local revenue, which was 259,000, and FIF, which is about 300 and something. That led to, if you add the two, 654. And by then, Mr. Speaker, the only money that was raised was for hospital, because they raised about 250. So where the problem was, Mr. Speaker, is the local revenue. And we are still having that problem up to date. Imagine, Mr. Speaker, 2020-2021, we had a deficit of 58 million. And as we speak, the other day we sat in Nakuru, and last financial year, 2022-2023, we have a deficit, Mr. Speaker, of 501 million, which means it will lead to projects all that amount that will be killed. So, Mr. Speaker, us as a county now, we need to make sure that when it comes to revenue collection, we project something that will achieve it, so that we cannot be appropriating money to projects, and at the end of the financial year, those projects will not be done, or it will lead to burning bills. Mr. Speaker, also, as you can see, the risk number 3 is the issue of utilization of budget. In that financial year, 53% was utilized. So which means most of the works were done at the last quarter. And that is what also brought pending bills. So, Mr. Speaker, because of the interest of time, I will request that honorable members, let's support this report the way it is, and we must make sure that sectoral committees work so that at least we will achieve everything that we have seen in this report. Otherwise, thank you, Mr. Speaker, and I second this report. Thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Chairman for Budget and Appropriation, for seconding the motion. I now propose the question that this House adopts the report of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the Auditor General's report of the County Executive of Kericho for the year ended 30th June 2021. The floor is now open for debate and contribution. The Honorable Cheriot Bet.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to comment on the report that was tabled by the chairman on Public Account and Investment Committee. Mr. Speaker, allow me to commend the committee for the good work that they have done, Mr. Speaker. I know, Mr. Speaker, this is out of the kind of reprimand that they went through during the floor some time back, Mr. Speaker. But I want to thank the chair because, Mr. Speaker, I have been here from 2013, Mr. Speaker. God has given me the grace. I think this should be the second or the third report. It's the second report, Mr. Speaker, in the last 10 years, Mr. Speaker. So we want to thank the chair and, of course, the membership of that committee, Mr. Speaker, because they have now pulled up their socks. Mr. Speaker, my attention was drawn especially from the observation and maybe, Mr. Speaker, the recommendation, Mr. Speaker. Number 12, for example, Mr. Speaker, you can imagine these people can pay an ECD center called Chematic Primary School, Mr. Speaker, and whopping 1.68 million, Mr. Speaker, without even deducting the retention of 10% to gather for any defects identified after the completion, Mr. Speaker. And these are the mistakes that we still experience, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I'd like also to draw the attention of the members, Mr. Speaker, For example, number 13, and that is the construction of fire station in Buwete Sub-County, Mr. Speaker. Someone has already been paid 5.3 million, Mr. Speaker, which represents 65%, while the work that has been done, Mr. Speaker, is not commensurate with the amount that have been paid. Mr. Speaker, information has it, Mr. Speaker, that the contractor has left site, Mr. Speaker, and with the amount that has been paid, Mr. Speaker, the amount that is remaining is not enough to complete the project, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, I want to support the committee's recommendation, Mr. Speaker, that the officers responsible for the implementing and supervising such projects, Mr. Speaker, and in awarding the contract, Mr. Speaker, must be held responsible, Mr. Speaker. So we now need to follow it up. I am a member of the implementation committee. Of course, my chair is not here, Mr. Speaker, and I will go and inform the chair if you give me the, if you direct me, Mr. Speaker, so that we now take up from here. These officers, Mr. Speaker, who are responsible must be held accountable, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, you spend more than what has been approved by the county assembly, Mr. Speaker. Those are glaring mistakes, Mr. Speaker. And I can tell you, Mr. Speaker, if we do not follow these people, this report, I think, was for 2021-2022 financial year. We therefore need to make sure that whatever has been recommended by this very powerful committee, Mr. Speaker, is now executed, Mr. Speaker, so that the people be made to account for every single cent that belongs to the people of this county, Mr. Speaker, so that they act as a deterrence, Mr. Speaker, for those who are planning to also siphon the public funds going into the future, Mr. Speaker. Otherwise, I want to support. I know, Mr. Speaker, the committee has done this one report, Mr. Speaker, and I can see it's a good report, although the chair was telling me the other time, the report that we table are very minute, Mr. Speaker. We are going to table a very big report, so I expected a report of almost 200 pages, Mr. Speaker, but however, Mr. Speaker, I must say that they have done a good work, and we expect the other 34 reports now to be tabled probably in the next maybe 3 or 4 years, Mr. Speaker, but I know they are going to do a good work. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
All right, okay. The Honorable Deputy Speaker.
Thank you so much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this chance to also support the report on the Public Accounts and Investments Committee. And first and foremost, I want to congratulate the committee led by the able chairman, Vincent Korir, who has done a good job. We're happy that we're seeing progress in this assembly, especially on this committee, which has been able to do a report. And I'm happy that they were able to do a report in a short time. Mr. Speaker, sir, this report of the Auditor General is really revealing many things which the County of Kericho needs to address, and I want to support my colleagues who have spoken before me, and I also want to refer to the page number 14 on the construction of ECD classroom on Chematich Primary School, number 12, which is talking about a retention fee. This particular problem, Mr. Speaker, sir, is still a problem that is still ongoing. We find contractors who are being paid full amount of money, and when there are defects in projects, they cannot be able to come and redo. So a good example is this classroom built in Chematich, amounting to 1.6 million shillings, and the contractor was paid full amount. There was no reduction, and we were told in the report that there was major cracks on the floors, walls, veranda. Work payments were made in full, and this is a sign of poor workmanship. So this recommendation again, Mr. Speaker, sir, is very important even for the current works being given, because this should be noted as one of the things that the committee on implementation will look into, and also the whole house. So I do support, and I want to urge all sectoral committees to also proactively pick some of these issues which I'm raising in the report to ensure that moving forward, none of these will be replicated elsewhere. So I do support this report fully, and I want to say once again to the Committee on Public Accounts, congratulations, keep it up. We you'll give us more of these reports. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
The Honorable, I saw the hand of the Honorable
Honorable Hezron.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for the opportunity you have granted me, Mr. Speaker, to support the motion by the Chairman, Public Account Committee, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as said by Honorable Cheriat Bett, Mr. Speaker, he has been in this assembly the longest time, Mr. Speaker. But I've been here since 2017, Mr. Speaker. And we have been having all the committees, Mr. Speaker. If there was a committee which never tabled even a single one-sentence report for the entire 5 years, Mr. Speaker, was the Committee on Public Account, Mr. Speaker. And when you went to the record, Mr. Speaker, it was the most paid committee, Mr. Speaker. And it was led by, and that is the reason, that must be the reason, Mr. Speaker, that Honorable Abel Spirizi in this house, Mr. Speaker. That was a committee, Mr. Speaker, which never, even I think he never made, even given out a maiden speech, Mr. Speaker, however he had been the chairman, Mr. Speaker. So in that connection, Mr. Speaker, allow me to use this platform to congratulate the chairman, able chairman, Honorable Vincent Korir, Mr. Speaker, and the entire committee of Public Account Committee, Mr. Speaker. I think this is a well done report, Mr. Speaker, and given the support, Mr. Speaker, this committee will do wonders, Mr. Speaker. In fact, Mr. Speaker, when you go through the report, Mr. Speaker, it is an eye-opener, Mr. Speaker, and it assists us even as the oversight committee, oversight members, oversight arm of the government, Mr. Speaker. It has pinpointed some of the loopholes, Mr. Speaker, and some of the issues which we have been raising, Mr. Speaker. And I think, Mr. Speaker, we need to support this committee, Mr. Speaker, and reform this committee so that they can fast track some of the reports which are still pending, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I support this report, Mr. Speaker, and I echo what Honorable Cheriat Bett had said on about the committee. Thank you. Sorry, Mr. Speaker, as before I exit, Mr. Speaker, now the sectoral committees, Mr. Speaker, should take up the matter and the matter from the Public Account Committee, Mr. Speaker, so that at least they do they follow up on the issues, specifics issues raised by the Public Accounts Committee, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, I think together with the quarterly reports which it has been submitted, Mr. Speaker, and the report from the PAC Committee, Mr. Speaker, I think there will be no reason why the committee will not, the sectoral committee will not be having business and will not be oversighting properly, because we have been given some insights of what's happening and the road which has been happening in various departments. Thank you, and I support the report, the motion by Chairman Bax.
All right, thank you so much, the Honorable Hezron. The floor is still open. The Honorable Gilbert Pasuben. And then I'll give to the leader of majority. And then we will, I'll give it to the mover of the motion to reply.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir, for giving me this opportunity to support this motion. And I want to congratulate the chairman and the committee as a whole. The chairman happens to be the first majority leader in the third assembly, Honorable Vincent Korir. And I'm happy again when you go through the membership of the composition of this committee, you find serious members, including myself, Paul Chirchir, Dora Keino, Gabriela Chemuna, Albert Kipkocher. These are very serious members in this house, Mr. Speaker. So I want to congratulate these members, and Honorable Ranking Member said he is the second report since the inception of this county assembly. But this is the first report to be tabled in this floor of the house. This
this is the first. I was not there in the first assembly, I was not there in the second assembly, but I've gone to the archives and I've realized this is the first report to be tabled in this floor of the House. These things are happening, Mr. Speaker, and to control these things, these committees should be serious so that this report should not be going to the Senate. Because once it is in the Senate, it portrays our county in a bad picture. The Auditor General, for him or the purpose of this audit, is to form a view of whether the information presented in the financial report reflects financial position of the county at a given time. So when the Auditor General came, he inspected, he looked at the financial statement and realized that there were so many lapses. That's why they came up with a qualified report. And for us, as members of this county assembly, we have a role of oversight. That's why we need to look at our projects. Currently, we have a annual progress report that has been tabled to this floor of the House. And having gone through that being the chair of finance, I have realized that there are so many projects which has already been paid but not completed. Just like when you go to page 15, Mr. Speaker, you realize that there is a construction of a fire station in Purit sub-county, which represents 65% of the contract sum has been paid. But the project itself is not commensurate with the amount paid, because they have just paid built foundation and rolling stage, which we recommended as the committee that legal action should be sought against the contractor and be blacklisted for abandoning the works after being paid greater percentage of the contract sum. But before when those people are being blacklisted, we want to understand, we want to know from the department, why are they paying these people when the projects is half done or even not done at all, just like a Matich Primary School. Again, Mr. Speaker, on my observation, matters revenue collection, because these people are delaying on remitting the statutory payments, is because we rely so much on the car allocation. It's so unfortunate because we collect so less when we should be collecting more. Because if we are collecting more, then obviously we could be remitting this statutory allocation on time. But I realized that these people, the Department on Finance and Economic Planning, are being serious this time around. Because I had a business in retail and they have closed because they are becoming more serious. And then, in fact, I'm making arrangements. Maybe we can do a fundraising so that I can pay, so that my business can proceed. These people are becoming so serious. That's the point I'm making. They are closing businesses. They are collecting revenue just like never before. Just because me being the chair of finance and a very serious person in this county assembly, I've made those people to do their work. So thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I support this motion. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Honorable Kibet. Now that you have alluded that you have very serious members, before I give to the leader of majority, I want to give to the Honorable Dora Keino, who happens to be a member of that committee, and then I give to the leader of majority. I don't want to close. Yes. Proceed to the order. Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me the opportunity to contribute on this report. As you have alluded that this committee has very serious members, Mr. Speaker, I'm a witness here. We are very grateful for our chair, Honorable Vincent Korir, for what he has done. For the committee now is very active and everyone is awake. Everybody is trying to evade the axe from the chairman. But we are warning our chair because we warned him and we told him, if you want to axe this committee, Mr. Chair, you might be the one who is going to go first before we go. But the chair, thank you very much for considering the membership and leaving the committee as it was. We are very grateful also, Mr. Speaker, for giving us some trip to Eldoret for the training. And we came here very knowledgeable and we are ready to work on the reports from the Auditor General. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. I support the report in totality.
Thank you. Leader of majority.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. And maybe first, Mr. Speaker, before I proceed, allow me to thank the chair for this committee, Mr. Speaker, plus the serious members of the committee for doing the best job, Mr. Speaker. I know some few in that committee, Mr. Speaker, who worked tirelessly, and they carried the rest, Mr. Speaker. But nevertheless, Mr. Speaker, the report is before the floor of the House, and we are very much grateful, Mr. Speaker. I also want to thank your office, Mr. Speaker, together with that one of the Deputy Speaker, Mr. Speaker. You see, we were to do changes in this committee for the effective works to be seen, Mr. Speaker. But I kindly now request, I know the office of the Speaker had given us a go-ahead, Mr. Speaker, to reconstitute the same committee because we want these reports. We are told, Mr. Speaker, over 35 reports are lying in that committee, Mr. Speaker. And Chairman had presented complaints on those members who are not serious, Mr. Speaker. But today, from the look of things, Mr. Speaker, and the way members of this committee attended, Mr. Speaker, it's a show, it's a good show, Mr. Speaker. And I think the Honorable Deputy Speaker will be forced maybe to sit as we watch. Maybe this seriousness came for only 2 weeks, Mr. Speaker, so we will keep observing the same committee. But with those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, mine was actually to comment because I was in this house, Mr. Speaker, in the previous term, and the chairman, that time, Mr. Speaker, didn't manage to table even one report, Mr. Speaker, on the same. Mr. Speaker, the report is very good. When you go to page 15, Mr. Speaker, construction of fire station in Purette, sub-county, you've seen the recommendation, Mr. Speaker. The committee noted that 5.3 million was paid to the contractor, which represents 65%, Mr. Speaker. And the remaining money is an April. Even if the contractor will be forced today to come back to the site, Mr. Speaker, he'll be not in a position to complete the remaining works, Mr. Speaker. That means, with the recommendations from the committee, Mr. Speaker, we will hold the officers accountable, Mr. Speaker. The same to that TCD of Chamatich, Mr. Speaker, you saw they paid 126 million, no retention, and in equal measure, Mr. Speaker, during the audit time, the auditors noted that there were no retention money and there was cracks all over the building, Mr. Speaker, and no way will they force the contractor to go back because they had paid everything, Mr. Speaker. We are told also in Londiani, Mr. Speaker, of which I also participated in allocating the same money to the same contract, Mr. Speaker, for Londiani Tarmac roads. We are told by the report, Mr. Speaker, the officers there didn't manage even to give out documentations, supporting documents, Mr. Speaker, on issues to do with drainages and other things, Mr. Speaker. I think each and every sectoral committee can pick the areas where there is weaknesses, Mr. Speaker, from this report, develop now a report in line to every department, Mr. Speaker. Like this one of education, Mr. Speaker, the chair of education was here, Mr. Speaker. I think those officers now should be told to put, Mr. Speaker, because the ECD, the value for money has not been made. When you go to water, when you go to this one for PSM, this one for fire station, I think it is in PSM, Mr. Speaker. From this report, Mr. Speaker, we will generate so many businesses and we will be in a position to call those officers who are supposed, who are authorized the same payments to be made, Mr. Speaker, without considering other things, Mr. Speaker, like value for money for the people. Good workmanship has not been witnessed in the same, Mr. Speaker. So I think based on this, that's why I must thank the chairman. Based on this, Mr. Speaker, all the sectoral committees together with the delegated county legislation, Mr. Speaker, led by the able chair, Representative Edward, Mr. Speaker, I know going forward now, even this committee, Mr. Speaker, will have as much businesses as possible, Mr. Speaker, out of this report, Mr. Speaker. So I think all sectoral committees will have work based on this report, Mr. Speaker. And with those few remarks, Mr. Speaker, I support in totality the report from the Public Accounts and Investment Committee. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Finally, Mr. Speaker, allow me also to ask the Chair for Finance and Economic Planning, Mr. Speaker, since he has declared himself our Catholic Chair, Mr. Speaker, that I assisted him today, Mr. Speaker, running up and down to get quarterly reports, Mr. Speaker, from the executive as instructed by you in the morning session, Mr. Speaker, and now we received the same. I can't request the committee on finance and economic planning, Mr. Speaker. We work on the same quarterly reports. We will be in a position to generate during this recess time, Mr. Speaker. I can't request that to give time to these various committees, different committees to different areas, Mr. Speaker, to go and look into their areas, Mr. Speaker, based on those quarterly reports. And after that one, Mr. Speaker, I know as we come back from the recess, we will be the most active county assembly going forward. Asante, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, the Honorable Leader of Majority. I now give to the mover of the motion to reply.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity once more. I would like to say, Mr. Speaker, sir, I'm the happiest man today for tabling this report, which I know we participated with the other members who have proved in this house that they are very serious. And indeed, they were serious on that day when we were doing the report. Mr. Speaker, I would like to also appreciate you for holding our hand as a PAC, because this is the oversight team for the county assembly. And that's our role and mandate as the representatives of the people. And again, we learned a lot in this report also as a committee, and we will play our role very well also so that we can strengthen this legislative wing. Mr. Speaker, sir, the importance of the committees, the various sectoral committees is well highlighted in this report. And the other committees can play their oversight role very well if we can be able to be in touch and be checking on the executive all the time. Again, what came up is the reports from the executives delay, and actually this is what we have discussed even this week, that most of the reports, the quarterly reports, are really delaying, and they actually, this is something that we saw as a committee that it should actually be implemented, so that when the reports come here on time, we will be able to make a lot of checks and balances and be able even to correct before things goes worse with the executive. Again, there is the issue of approval of county money by the assembly, which is this house. And it is very important to know that any expenditure above the budget should always come here. And maybe the various committees now can be checking on this through maybe the reports that we have stated. Again, there is the issue of provision of documents when the auditor is conducting the audits. And this came up severally within the report. And again, this issue of provision of documents is guided by the law. Maybe we would like to actually be very stern and give stern warning as a committee to the executive that this one is a very serious issue, because it's like evading oversight or giving out information to the county assembly or the public or any other person. There's the issue of workmanship which came up, And if we can be able to visit the projects every now and then as committees, we can be able to know this even in advance. Mr. Speaker, sir, there are issues of internal control within the county executive in terms of management of money, maybe the issues of revenue collection, which maybe has to be tightened. And all this, when combined and summarized, is we cannot play oversight alone as PAC. We play the oversight role as the committees. And again, when the reports like this comes, it's not always punitive. There are so many corrective measures that can be undertaken, either by the executive through the advice of the Auditor General or advice from this Honorable House. Otherwise, Mr. Speaker, sir, we realize that this committee is very important, especially when we participate in the development of the report, and the issues noted and reported to this House will help in making this House to be more efficient in oversight and be able to follow up on issues that can be touched with the auditor. Sometimes the auditor has not is not supposed to even note. Sometimes maybe they sample the issues, but as a House, we might be able to check other issues that come up, so that you can be able to correct in time, save money for the people of Kericho County, and also ensure that there is efficiency. Especially, for example, the issue of revenue that we have been discussing, the whole of maybe this when we had a budget committee. There are issues that come up every now and then on revenue collection, which needs to be corrected because it has been persistent and has been even mentioned in the report. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, as a committee, the reports, the number of reports that we have shows that we have a lot of work as committee to do the oversight. And we are kindly requesting this House and through you, Mr. Speaker, that we need a lot of support. For example, Honorable Bate had mentioned that I had informed him that they will have a very huge report. Actually, the time that needs to be taken to develop a report from PAC is a lot of time. Actually, the Secretariat had to sit through the night and the whole day so that they come up with this financial report that is accurate and giving out the information that is true. My request is maybe to other committees, for example, in policy making, because some of the issues here require policies that can strengthen and tighten the controls in the executive, for example, in management of finance. Ours, Mr. Speaker, we are grateful. I'm so grateful to the Secretariat who took a lot of time, because some of the documents, if you can request for a document, for example, for a vote, they will have the required to come up with a pickup, because there is a document we require, which we thought maybe it's a small document, but they have to come with a pickup. You see, looking at reports carried in a pickup is not easy. So, members, this is a report that we must look at various stages of committee, where we are required as PAC to follow up and ensure that there is implementation. We will also do it and follow up. Otherwise, I support the report. Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for your great support. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Honorable Vincent Korir, for the good work that you have done and your committee. I now rise to put the question that this House adopts the report of the Public Accounts and Investment Committee on the Auditor General's report of the County Executive of Kericho for the year ended 30th June 2021. Will as many of the same opinion say aye? Will as many of contrary opinion say nay? And the ayes have it. Honorable members, of course, following the adoption of that motion by this House, the Deputy Speaker with the Chairperson liaison, you are directed that you meet your chairpersons and ensure that the issues that have been raised in that report is dealt with by the sectoral committees before the implementation come in. Thank you so much. There being no other order of business this evening, This House stands adjourned until tomorrow morning, Wednesday, 18th October 2023 at 9:30 a.m.